After taking 2 of 3 from the Toronto Blue Jays, the Royals welcome in MVP Miguel Cabrera and his American League Central champion Detroit Tigers. The Royals will counter with their pitcher of the month of April, big game James Shields. It's the Royals and Tigers next. Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports. It's great to have beautiful weather in Kansas City for Game 1 of this 3-game series between the Tigers and the Royals. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physiak. The Royals are closing the gap on the American League Central champion Detroit Tigers. Last year, the Royals won 10 of the 19 meetings, and earlier this year, their 2 losses were walk-offs in Detroit. But here in Kansas City, it is a different story, as the Royals have won 10 of the last 15 at the K. And look at the pitching, 3.38 earned run average. And when they get the lead, they hand it off to a quality bullpen with a 2.38 earned run average. Joining me tonight is Rex Hudler. And Rex, these games have been so tense.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch these guys perform because they know what's at stake here, the Central title. The Royals playing here at home have an advantage, and they learned it last year. They gained it because they beat these Tigers here last year. The only team in the Central were the Royals with a winning record against these Tigers. They showed that they can do it. This walk-off base hit right here by Hosmer, that turned the K upside down against the Tigers. They know they have the ability to beat this team. They want to continue that mojo, turning the Tigers into kitty cats. They have the ability.
And keep the baddest Tiger quiet, Miguel Cabrera, the best player on the planet. It's the Royals and Tigers coming your way next.
As neither one of these skippers has seen their team play in very much good weather so far this year. And we welcome you back to Kauffman Stadium. Joel Goldberg out in right field. It is a picture-perfect night for baseball. Ned Yost said today, finally, good weather. And Brad Ausmus is excited about it, too, because his team has already had 3 games postponed and numerous off days. They have only played 23 times in the last 32 days. And he said, hey, you can't cry over spilled milk. It is what it is, but it is really hard to get into a rhythm, really hard to play your bench players when the starters aren't playing very much either. And so Mother Nature, a welcome sight for everyone involved. And hey, if the Tigers want to play some baseball, they have a little bit coming up. 30 games in the next 31 days, beginning next against James Shields and the Royals.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Kansas City Chevy dealers. By the Missouri Lottery. Try the Missouri Lottery's new Lucky Sevens playbook. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Welcome back to the K for the Tigers and Royals. Let's check out Brad Ausmus's starting lineup for his Tigers. He'll lead things off with Ian Kinsler, who came over from the Texas Rangers in the Prince Fielder deal. Then Hunter, then two-time MVP Miguel Cabrera. Who else jumps out at you, Rex?
Well, I like Cabrera's numbers. Best definitely do. 479 average, a couple home runs for him. But, you know, the key to that is to try to keep those guys off in front of him. Kinsler and Hunter, that'll be the key.
James Shields will make his 7th start of the year. He's in the top 8 in the American League in 5 pitching categories, including ERA, strikeouts, and innings pitched.
Okay, James Shields, by the numbers this year, looking very good. He's solid. He's as advertised. He has an edge. He pitches with a chip on his shoulder. He knows how to harness that energy, though. He's a veteran. He's hard sinkers, changeups, occasional breaking balls, little cutters. He's going to pound that strike zone and do the best he can to bring his defense in. And speaking of defense, let's go around the horn. Brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers. Last 10 games at home versus Detroit, they have been airtight. Keep it that way. If they catch the ball that they're supposed to, they're going to have a better chance of winning. Shields pitches to contact, although he's been really high this year as far as striking guys out. Should be fun. Follow Salvi's lead.
The umpires behind home plate, Tim Welke, Todd Tichenor at first base, Gabe Morales at second, and Tim Timmons is at third. Welke, the crew chief. The Royals come in with a record of 14-13. The Tigers at 14-9. And this is Detroit's 5th best March-April in franchise history. 14 wins before May 1st. And Kinsler will lead things off, and he has been one of their hottest hitters. 10 hits in his last 22 at-bats to raise his average to .283. Detroit has been very strong at home, but in 9 games in the road, you see the record 5-4. And Rex, look at the lack of power. Only 5 home runs in those 9 games.
In the next 3 games here, that likely won't change a whole lot. Let's hope, because this ballpark here, you got to get it, all of it, to get it out of here.
But both Kansas City and Detroit finally playing in good weather, and good weather is expected for all 3.
Yeah, that's definitely a big plus. It's going to help. Should be a lot of fun, especially with the fans here packing the K. It's going to be a lot of energy in this ballpark.
The Tigers more of a veteran team than the Royals. Kinsler 31, Hunter 38, Cabrera 30, Victor Martinez 35. Those are their first 4 in the order. It was a rather controversial deal at the beginning of the year, bringing Kinsler from Texas for Prince Fielder, who really supplied the protection behind Miguel Cabrera last year when he was second time named most valuable player. Strike 1.
.68 degrees and a slight breeze blowing right out to right field. Very slight. James Shields had some success off of Kinsler. Kinsler's only 179. A couple of home runs. He's going to slide that ball away. He's going to throw his changeup into righties. He's not afraid to do that. A lot of guys, a lot of pitchers that are right-handed, facing right-handed batters, are a little nervous about putting that ball in there that's coming into a righty, but not James.
Kinsler 25 leadoff home runs in his career, and he busts this one to center field. Dyson off to the races, and he gets there. There's the great speed by number 1, and there's 1 out.
And there's the confines of the K. Dyson, great jump. Takes 1 peek down to see where he is. Had it the whole way.
68 degrees today, and it was 1 year ago today, May 2nd, 2013, when the Royals and Rays attempted to finish up a 3-game series here, but shortly after KC took a 1-0 lead, a spring snowstorm hit and ultimately called the contest. There is a line drive struck to center field, and Dyson will take care of it. That's 2 quick outs. Royals had to wait until August 26 to get that sweep, but it was absolutely miserable. And Rex, you and I were both surprised they even started the game.
Oh, what a difference a year makes.
George was frozen. And everybody was taking pictures. Snow and crying don't belong in baseball. Well, here is Cabrera, and he has finally begun to swing the bat like they know he will. He has a 7-game hit streak, and during that time hitting .419 to raise his average from the low 200s up to .277.
Speaking of .419, that's what he's hit off James Shields.
Yeah.
A couple of homers.
And Rex, I'm told by their coaching staff, the opposition pitching him differently this year because no fielder behind him.
Yeah, so they're not giving him good pitches to hit anymore. They still got to pitch to him, but they're pitching him a lot more carefully. And Miguel wants to hit, and he's might be swinging a little bit out of his strike zone so far early.
Always strong in this ballpark. 12 of his 367 career home runs at the K. And James being very cautious with him. The count is 3-1. Victor Martinez is waiting on deck, And while he is a quality hitter, does not have that power production like Fielder last year. And there's the switch hitter, Victor Martinez. In there, 3-2. And Miguel did not like the call from Tim Welke.
Tim Welke in his 31st year as a big league umpire. He's as good as they get.
Cabrera swings and misses. Shields gets the Tigers 1-2-3 in the first. Cave this year, and they're averaging 4.7 runs per game at Kauffman Stadium. And they will lead things off with Nori Aoki, the right fielder. He has a 5-game hit streak, hitting .391 during that span. And Rex, the first 4 guys are beginning to really pick things up.
Yeah, they are, especially Eric Hosmer. Hosmer is starting to find his stroke. His rhythm is good. His timing, all that stuff. He's squaring up the baseball. Nice to see Dyson and Aoki and Fonte, Escobar, those guys at the top and the bottom of the order against a sinker ball pitcher like Porcello. Find those holes and let a track meet break out.
You see his first 5 starts against Kansas City, a 2-1 record, a 3.77 ERA. And like you said, Rex, just about everything he throws has great movement.
Yeah, 88-92, not overpowering. He's going to sink that ball. Sliders to righties, occasional curveballs to keep him honest. And he's got pretty good depth to his changeup. But he comes right at guys. There's 3 or 4 Royals that have some good numbers against him in their careers.
Aoki shows bunt, pulls it back, takes a strike. Don Kelly's the third baseman. Castellanos normally is there, but Don is a guy who can play everywhere. Aoki has been fantastic at the K. First in the American League at home batting average at .429. Porcello has him down 0-2. And this is the first time Nori has faced Rick Porcello, and usually that's been a greater challenge for Nori.
It is for any hitter that hasn't faced a pitcher before, but it doesn't take you long to get in the action. Ooh,
in there, strike 3 called.
That was some nice movement back in. That's that changeup. It was elevated, but it has some pretty good movement. Could have been his 2-seamer that was up. That's the one thing we've seen so far. Aoki, when he hasn't faced guys before, he's been striking out a little bit more than he's used to.
Omar Infante, he said hello to his old teammates before the game around the batting cage. One of their top hitters last year, and played second base much of the year, hitting .318 with 10 home runs for the Tigers. And then, of course, signed with the Royals, a 4-year deal in the offseason. Royals outbid the New York Yankees to get him. He goes to right center field. A long run for Torrey Hunter. Will he get there? No, it's over his head. Infante on his way to second base. Not stopping there. Going for third. There's the throw. He is safe.
One of the most exciting hits off a big leaguer's bat is a triple. That's right on the outer half of the plate. Torrey Hunter playing him a little shallow, could have no chance to get to him. Infante makes up his mind right here. I'm going. Steps on second base, the inside part of the plate, and slides safely in a beautiful head-first slide here at the K to entertain the people.
Rex, you're absolutely right, because if he goes head first into the bag, I think he's out, but he swept around and had that left hand on the corner. His third triple this year, most in the American League. And now Hosmer trying to get him home. Hosmer blasted to center. This will be deep enough. Making the catch is Austin Jackson. Tagging is Infante, and the Royals take an early 1-0 lead.
Okay, the third base coach can be very helpful, Dale Swaim, when your back as a runner is to the ball. Now, Swaim is saying you got to get down, but Infante can read it, and he's going to the farthest part of the bag away from the tag from Kelly. So why waste any time? Porcello's going to come right at you. Hosmer was waiting. Nice sac fly.
Now Billy Butler, strike one. Billy beginning to get things going. A 6-game streak, 9 for 25 during that span with 4 RBIs. I asked him before the ball game what's going on, and he says, I have no idea. I don't know why I'm hitting now, and I wasn't earlier.
That's a beautiful thing. Don't think, just go out and react.
What's your line? Don't think it only can hurt the team.
That's exactly right. Look, just stay right inside the ball like he has been.
Fouled off. But Rex, we've been seeing him drive the baseball this last week.
Yeah, seems like he's using more of his legs. He's more balanced. And what comes with that, and Pedro Grifol will tell you, confidence.
Porcello strikes out 2 in the inning, but the Royals get a run on an Infante triple and a Hosmer sacrifice fly. 1-0 Royals.
Oh, his name? Infante. To tweet your photo using hashtag KCFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T.
Top of the second inning, the Royals lead 1-0. Victor Martinez will lead things off, the veteran out of Venezuela, hitting .298. And he slices this one out of play. And Rex, he's been very difficult to strike out. He's only fanned 3 times in the season, leads the American League with 1 strikeout every 31.3 plate appearances.
Boy, talk about a throwback. In today's game, where there's a lot of swing and misses, guys really don't care because they're swinging for the fences. That's special.
Goes to left field. Gordon chasing, and Alex has to play it off the wall. Martinez with a leadoff double.
Nice pursuit of that ball slicing away from him down in the corner. He had a beat on it, but he was smart. Instead of diving, giving him a triple, he backed off, played it off the wall, and conceded the double. And Victor, he knows how good Alex is. He was acting like he was going to catch that.
And just about all of these Tigers have been hot the last week. They've won 4 of their last 5 and 7 of their last 10. Austin Jackson. Ball 1. He was their leadoff man last year, and they moved him down to the 5 spot this season and hitting .307. One and one. We told you the Royals played those 2 games back in Detroit to open the season. They lost the first 4-3 on Alex Gonzalez's game-winning hit in the 9th. They lost the second game 2-1 on Kinsler's single in the 10th. First time Detroit has won walk-offs to open a season since their first year of baseball. 1901. Jackson down in the count 1-2, and Shields' money pitch has always been that changeup. He struck out 41 this year. Make it 42.
Jackson had in the back of his mind, I'm sure, to try to at least have a productive out. He was looking for something out over the plate, and it dashed back in. Perfect pitch.
So he was unable to get Martinez to third base. Now the batter is Don Kelly.
Tigers hitting .269 with runners in scoring position as a team. Don Kelly 0 for 5. Talk about their young hotshot third baseman Nick Castellanos. He's picking, or actually Brad Austin's picked a really good day for him to ride the pine.
Why is that?
Because they're starting to adjust to him, the league is, and he hasn't, he's a rookie. So he's been scuffling a little bit. Picked a perfect day for a day off. James Shields, tough on righties. 171 coming into this game, his average against the righties. So sometimes your manager does you a favor.
Well, the bottom of Brad's lineup is not as strong as it was last year, but remember, they've lost Andy Dirks for a long time. They've lost Jose Iglesias, their shortstop, for the entire season. And they're still searching for an everyday shortstop. Andrew Romine is it now. But remember, when the Royals last faced them, Alex Gonzalez was the shortstop they traded for from Baltimore, and they designated him for assignment. Kelly flips it into left field. That's a base hit. Gordon comes, and no chance that they're going to send Martinez, but a base hit for Don, and runners at the corners.
Dave Clark, third base coach. He had the stop sign on contact. He was holding his hands up. Don't go. Stay here. That guy will nail you.
He has more assists since he took over in left field than any other outfielder in the game. Here is J.D. Martinez, picked up from the Houston Astros after they released him in late March, signed by the Tigers as a replacement for Dirks. Ball one. JD hitting .214 last year, but Shields remembers this guy because when he was an Astro, the Royals were struggling in that month of May, went into Houston, and Shields got knocked around, and JD hit a home run off the Royals right-hander. 1 ball, 1 strike. So they signed him, sent him down to AAA. He hit .308, and in 3 weeks, he blasted 10 home runs. So he's been on a roll. Good pitch, low and in. Fastball at 94. Advantage Shields at 1 and 2.
2 for 6. JD Martinez, career off Shields. Look at how that is a hard, boring in sinker. They broke a 1.5 feet.
I don't know how any right-hander hits that pitch.
With a Bodor, you might have a better chance.
Chase one in the dirt. Kelly's going to take off for second base, but Salvador wants to make sure that Martinez does advance from third. So that's the 3rd strikeout in the game for James Shields.
Okay, Salvador Perez, he knows what's coming, so he's got a chance to be able to square that ball up. Now, it kicked off of his glove. You can't control that with that round catcher's glove. He tries to put it right in the meat of that glove, but sometimes it hits the heel of it, and it'll kick off. So now Shields going to have to really focus right here on Alex Avila, who's hitting .304 in his career with 1 homer.
And you see what he's done this season. Rex was talking about the numbers against James Shields, but Alex picking it up this past week. We told you about that. He has 4 hits in his last 2 games, and a dangerous left-handed hitter.
A lot of action early in the counts so far in this game. Pitchers are throwing strikes early, and guys are hacking.
Strike 1.
He's thinking that ball was a little up. But with runners at second and third in scoring position, Avila just hitting .077. Looking for something out over he can put in play.
Second and third for Detroit. They play Avila with a slight pull. Fastball up, 1-1. I think James was thinking, well, if I got a strike call up there, I'm going to go back upstairs. You can see where Escobar playing.
Okay, not a real drastic shift. And as the season goes on so far, you're going to see the Royals not shift as much as they have been because the pitching hasn't created any ground balls. They either strike them out or they hit fly balls.
2-1.
I was talking to Dale Swaim today about that. He's the mastermind behind the infield, and he said, you know, the shift really hasn't made a big difference. He says he's never seen anything like it. Our pitching staff either strikes them out or they throw fly balls. So our shift, we really haven't been able to trap anybody. I mean, think about it. How many double plays the Royals have turned? Just 13 double plays all season long. That's the fewest in the American League.
Shields gets back in the count, evening it on the foul ball, 2-2. We have seen James throw 4 straight changeups to the same batter, and that same batter will be fooled on all 4. And the changeup much more effective to a left-handed batter than it is to a right-hander. But with Shields, I don't think it matters.
No, it doesn't. Him and Salvi have the game plan, and James Shields pitches to his strength, not to the hitter's weakness.
And Rex, it seems like James and Salvi not on the same page. Shields shaking him off. He has an idea of what selection or location he's looking for.
That's okay. 2 strikes, 2 outs here. You know, he wants to execute a pitch here. Good pitchers know how to execute when runners are in scoring position.
There was the fade. Wasn't much Avila could do with it, so he knocked it out of play. Tigers at 14-9 lead the Central by 2 games over second place Kansas City. Martinez at third, Kelly at second. Again, they're taking a long time to get together. Now they're ready. Back-to-back changeups. Now the count's full 3-2.
See how Salvador Perez, he just doesn't even close his glove. He leaves it flat, open, and he just keeps it in front of him. It's like he pushes it. Runner at third base, ball's going away. See that? He doesn't want to catch it. He just wants to keep it, and that's the softest part of the glove, so it doesn't bounce very far.
And Avila thinking they're taking too much time. That was twice that Shields said no to Salvador's selections. And James is an idea on his mind on how to get this guy out, and it's inside. Not yet. Quite a battle. 8th pitch coming.
Okay, this at bat here could swing the game one way or the other. Tigers got a little momentum here. 3-2 count. Hitter knows that James doesn't really want to walk him. Romine, not quite the established hitter that Avila is on deck. So first base is open.
Yeah, their bottom 3 hitters hit 214, 220, and 205 this year.
Make him swing out of the strike zone. And that was a good pitch. It was off the plate. Don't give him anything down the middle. And good time for a meeting here. Break up a little of Avila's rhythm, because Avila's the one who's gaining confidence each swing.
Salvi probably went out there. What do you want to throw? Where do you want to throw it? I'll put down the correct fingers.
I knew catchers that would just say, let's drill him. He's expanding your pitch count. Can't hit that.
Barely misses inside. Ball 4, so the bases are loaded for the Tigers in the 2nd inning.
Okay, now Salvi's sitting outside. Didn't make that pitch necessarily a ball. However, it appeared that way because Salvi was sitting out there and the ball was on the inner half.
This is the first time Andrew Romine has ever faced James Shields. He was acquired late in spring training from the Angels for Jose Alvarez, a pitcher who would be the number 6 starter for Detroit. Ball 1.
Okay, Romine, if he's like a lot of young players, he's a little nervous. Okay, but you need to tell yourself, James Shields, the veteran, is the one who's in trouble here. Bases are loaded. Pressure's on Shields, not on Romine.
2-0. More pressure with the bases full, and he's fallen behind in the count. He had a taxing duel with Avila and lost him with the walk.
So if the Tigers end up not scoring any runs, the positive they'll take is milking the pitch count from James Shields.
Shields had a quick 1-2-3 inning and then didn't need many pitches to get out of that first. Romine now with a 2-2 count after he was at had the advantage his way. 2 balls, no strikes. James getting right back in there.
Romine told me he's living a dream. Don't wake him up. Playing shortstop for the Detroit Tigers every day right now. He says he's just trying to slow everything down and appreciate each pitch and each opportunity.
Hits it high in the air. Dyson says he wants it, and Gerard takes it. Well, it was a battle for James, but he wins it. And the Tigers leave the bases loaded.
To Miller time later in today's game. Brought to you by Miller Lite.
And that begs the question, who's going to drive the bus tonight? The Royals' last 5 games, it's been a different guy who has produced a win in their last 5 victories. Moustakas, Butler, Infante, Perez, Escobar.
Because during a period like this when the whole lineup is hot, you could just flip a coin. All those guys have a license to drive. They're looking for one driver to stand up.
And Salvador had 2 huge hits in Tuesday's victory. One that drew them within 1, and the other one that gave them the lead. And Escobar on Wednesday had that double that drove in 2 and gave the Royals a victory at 4-2. Now Alex Gordon will lead things off. Rick Porcello gets strike 1. Porcello is a strike thrower. He's thrown 11 pitches. 10 have found that strike zone.
I mean, coming right at him. First pitch strikes. Believe me, that'll get around. Second, third time through. Hitters will start going, okay, he's trying to get strike 1 on me. I'm going to make him pay. But I like the fact that they're being a little patient and selective here. First time through.
Well, you take a look at the league leaders, brought to you by Toyota. Royals with 44 doubles since April 12th, and Alex with 11 doubles this year. That leads all American leaguers. The 1-2 is hit sharply. Cabrera has it, and he'll win the race to the bag. 1 out.
Going hard 90 feet is something that all fans really enjoy. And Alex Gordon just did that. He's a blue-collar worker. He brings the lunch pail to work, even though he probably really doesn't. But he plays like it.
That sounded like an oxymoron.
I got some yogiism in me. I got a little bit of that.
He brought a lunch pail, although he left it at home. And Porcello will now face Salvador Perez. And Salvi, you might remember opening day in Detroit. He went 4 for 4 and 5 for 7 in that 2-game series. Game 3 was rained out. It'll be replayed in June. Way upstairs as he came up and in on the Royals catcher.
Okay, that's important for a sinker baller. He's got to be able to use a four-seamer up to keep him off of that ball down around the knees. Raising that eye level sometimes can help execute the pitch you want.
Porcello has it. He could walk over to first base to get him. Instead, he underhands to get the out. Play goes 1-3, and fans, come celebrate your 2013 Rawlings Gold Glove winners tomorrow when the Royals face off against Detroit. Be one of the first 10,000 fans and receive a special edition T-shirt highlighting Gold Glove winners Alex Gordon, Eric Hosmer, and Salvador Perez, courtesy of Papa John's. Now, addition, prior to first pitch, there will be a special Rawlings Gold Glove ceremony for our winners. Gates open at 4:30, so get there early tomorrow. For tickets, go to Royals.com or call 1-800-6-ROYALS. Mike Moustakas, 0 for 5 in the Toronto series. That batting average down at 149. But he still leads the club in home runs with 4 and has 12 RBIs. Big rip. 1-2.
Okay, that's what he wants. A nice, easy swing. That was a good level swing. He's going to get a lot of production on swings like that, especially utilizing left, center field, and left. To get that average up, that's what he's going to need to do. And you're waiting on the ball longer. You're seeing it longer. And you're gaining confidence with the singles and the doubles, and the homers will come.
Cracks that one to center field. Jackson will not reach it. He took a poor route to it, and Moustakas will make it to second base with a 2-out double. And that's what you're talking about, Hud.
Exactly. Porcello came back and gave him the same pitch because he swung and missed at the previous one. So Moose made the adjustment, said, okay, I'm going to stay right there with my swing. I'm going to go right back up the middle. Beautiful. Had he tried to pull that, he would have pulled his head and he would have stayed off of it. Great balance, short stride, quick to the ball. Phantom Cam will show you. Very little head movement. None at all. Beautiful stroke and follow through. That's it, Moose. Bottle that up. That'll get your average back to where it needs to be, and we know the pop will come because you have that naturally.
Now Alcides Escobar, who is absolutely overdue against Rick Porcello. He has faced him 21 times and has 1 hit. Overall hitting .286, playing great defense in the field. Esky was working a lot in batting practice, Rex, to right field.
They know that. That's why they're going to try to stay inside with him. But we saw in the previous series against Toronto when he got that big double on the line, what can happen if he's looking in there and they come in there. He can turn on it.
Out of play, 1-2. At home this year, 308, the home run. We told you about the game-winning hit in the Royals' last victory on Wednesday when he shot it down the left field line and played it 2.
Any kind of doinker would work here nicely. Breaks the pitcher's heart, makes the player happy.
Porcello more of a pitch to contact guy. He has 16 strikeouts coming in 25 innings.
Ahead in the count. He's been coming upstairs on a lot of Royals so far early in this game.
He started the year as Detroit's 4 or 5 guy, but because of the injury to Anibal Sanchez, he's now in the 3 spot behind Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer. Two balls, 2 strikes. A lot was expected from Rick Porcello. He was Detroit's first-round pick in 2007 out of Seton Hall Prep High School, a high school All-American. And he made it to the big leagues at the age of 20. He has 60 wins already. He just turned 25. 3-2. We're seeing more patient Escobar this year. Rex, he's walked 6 times in his last 11 games.
That comes from being a confident hitter and successful. Pedro Gafal deserves some credit for that. You can preach all you want about different techniques of hitting, but when it comes to the basic day-to-day, he says compete. Compete with the pitcher. Don't give in to him.
Foul. That's the one you're talking about, coming inside, his ability to turn on it.
Same situation as the Tigers with James Shields in the last half inning. They were taxing James Shields' pitch count. Now with 2 outs, Escobar is making him throw the ball. And when you see more pitches, the advantage comes to you in your next at bat. You know what better to look for.
He strikes him out on the 8th pitch of the duel, and Porcello wins this time, but the Royals take a 1-0 lead to the 3rd inning at the K. Everyone gets unlimited talk, text, and 1 gigabyte of data for as low as $25 a month per line while on the Sprint network. The more people added up to 10 total, the lower your rate. Plus, while you'll save as a team, all accounts can be billed individually. And the question is, who will hit the most home runs in May? Billy, Alex, Eric, Mike, or Salvi. Text Sprint at 432-432 and enter A, B, C, or D.
In May, not for the whole season. All right, there's my guy right there. I'm going C.
I'm going to go with Billy. I just have a feeling he's going to start driving the ball like we've seen him in the past. 2 years ago, he belted 29 and looking for number 1.
I'm riding Haas because he's hot right now, and it's May 2nd.
Popped up right side. Hosmer in foul territory. make the play on Ian Kinsler, and he is out number 1. James Shields, he has won all 3 of his games on the road this year. He beat Baltimore on Sunday 9-3. Gave up 2 runs in 7 innings, and now facing a guy he has faced many times throughout his career with the Tampa Bay Rays, against the Tigers, and against the Angels. Not sure if they faced each other when Torrey was with the Minnesota Twins. Torrey, one of the delightful guys in the game, now 38 years young, out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. This was the guy Lorenzo Cain patterned his game after.
And you know who helped him pattern his game pattern?
Kirby Puckett.
Dave Winfield.
Well, Kirby too. That's what Torrey said.
Winnie had a huge influence on him.
Tell me about what you're wearing.
Royals fans, don't miss your chance to take part in the Zuba Palooza Day at the K on Friday, May 16th. These one-of-a-kind pants won't be given out at the gate, so the only way you can get your custom Royal Zuba is by purchasing the special ticket package at royals.com/Zubapalooza. Packages start at only $25, so visit royals.com/Zubapalooza today.
I want you to wear those when you take Jennifer to Seasons 52 in the Plaza. Oh no!
Look, folks, they fit. They fit. I'm just saying. I'm showing they're loose fit.
Fans never know what you're going to do.
No, they're comfortable. I like them. Fans are going to love that deal.
Well, here is Miggy. He struck out swinging to end the first. We'll move past the Zubas Palooza.
Well, they brought him up here. I don't know how else to show him. We had to put him on.
Cabrera rips it to left field, and that's down the line. Hunter racing for third. Gordon sends it to the cutoff man, and Escobar brings it home, but not nearly in time. And this game is tied at 1.
Wouldn't you know, that ball got caught underneath the padding in left field. And that's what allowed Torrey Hunter to come and score from first base. Not much you can do about that. James Shields leaving some balls up in the strike zone, in the middle. See how it just stayed up underneath there. Gordon had to go get it. Had it kicked off the wall, they would have held Hunter at third base.
So back even with Detroit. Cabrera knocked in his 16th. He now has an 8-game hit streak, batting over .420 during that time. And Victor Martinez, who has been almost equally as hot now at the plate, he doubled his first time up. Tigers have hit the Royals 4-2. Royals got their run on a triple by Infante, a sacrifice fly by Hosmer in the first. We told you the Royals have a marvelous record against Detroit at the K in the last 15 games, but it's never been easy. 11 of those 15 games were decided by 1 run. 1 or 2 runs, I beg your pardon.
It's hard to get Victor off balance. You talked about how little he strikes out. So you hope, and what Shields is hoping for, is that he's able to locate a pitch that he hits it on the ground somewhere, or a lazy fly ball. He's going to make contact.
And Rex, you can see where he finishes with his bat, with all that pine tar he has on his left shoulder. Well, the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Do you know the last time Victor Martinez struck out looking?
Oof, that's incredible.
almost a year ago. 568 at bats. That's a guy who makes good contact with a good eye. And that includes the playoffs last year. 3-2.
You look up the definition in the dictionary of professional hitter. You see Victor, you see Cabrera. Those guys all have a great skill at recognizing their pitch and not missing it and not swinging at the pitcher's pitch.
Cabrera second base, first base open. Shields again not on the same page with Salvi as they change the signs with a runner at second. Boy, he took a shot at left field last time up and doubled. Took another shot at left field, fouled it off. He connected for his 1,500th hit of his career back on April 23rd against the Chicago White Sox. And he blasts that one to right. Aoki is back and has to play it off the wall. Cabrera will come home and score, and Martinez has his second double. 2-1 Tigers.
Over the middle. The last two doubles that were hit, Cabrera and Martinez, were balls right over the middle of the plate. Aoki knew he couldn't get to it, so he thought he'd try to deke Cabrera.
Here is Austin Jackson, struck out looking his first time up. Good block by Salvador, no advance. Jackson was drafted by the Yankees in 2005. And he was a tremendous player growing up both in baseball and basketball. As a matter of fact, received a full ride and would have been the point guard at Georgia Tech. Aoki near the line, pulls it down. Martinez is tagging and going to third. Shields throwing a lot of pitches and not yet 3 innings. 54 and 2 2/3, and you see that number he threw in the second inning, 27, including an 8-pitch duel that he had with Alex Avila before finally walking him. Kelly singled his last time. Strike one. Don has played every position, Rex, except one. And you'll be surprised at the one position he has not played. Shortstop. He's pitched. He's caught one game.
Good for him.
Played every position except short. And I thought, here's Kelly, who is an infielder.
He'll get that on his resume.
Oh, absolutely.
Good for him.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Remember his games in the playoffs, particularly 2011 against the New York Yankees. He had a big home run for Detroit. Hit 364 in that series.
You play that many positions and you're a left-handed hitter, you're valuable.
Barely outside. 2-2.
He can spot start him just like tonight Brad Ausmus is.
Another full count for James.
James isn't quite hitting his spots so far early in this one like he has in the past. He's been leaving some balls up out of the middle, and he's been trying to locate, and he's not hitting his spots.
Dyson makes the catch, but Detroit scores 2 off Shields in the third to take the lead. Her story is amazing. While going through her own chemotherapy treatments, breast cancer survivor Lonnie Bush noticed others were missing their appointments because they couldn't afford the copay. Realizing so many needed help, Lonnie started hosting fundraisers throughout the year to provide scarves, wigs, and financial assistance to cancer patients, and recently helped pay for a funeral of someone who lost her battle with cancer. She's a trainer and owner of the Lonnie Bush Fitness Center. She wrote the book Cancer Was My Blessing, where she shares her struggles and triumphs of her journey with cancer. Lonnie, you are a blessing.
Oh, man, what a story. Lonnie, continue to encourage others through your own personal struggles. Thank you.
Meantime, Rick Porcello, pinpoint accuracy. He is 9 for 9 throwing first pitch strikes.
Okay, last hitter through for the Royals first time around. See if they don't start jump on a few of them first pitch fastballs, especially with men on.
Dyson did not bite at the curve. Count moves to 1-2.
Okay, now Dyson, he can bunt with 2 strikes, and that's already been around the league. Now, especially a guy like Porcello, who's not overpowering. Dyson doesn't have to be perfect because they're all playing back.
Shot to short, picked off by Romine. His throw is in time, and there's one down. Andrew known more for his defense than his offense. That's why the Tigers got him from the Angels to replace Iglesias.
Fine player.
Now back to the top of the order, and Nori Aoki. He struck out looking. First time up on 3 pitches. Nori needs to get on and score, because when Nori scores, the Royals win. Royals are 11-0 when Aoki scores a run.
Caught Nori looking on a fastball his last time up, a high fastball.
Two balls and 1 strike. Before the ball game, I saw Nori and Kosuke, his interpreter, with Miguel Cabrera. They visited before the Detroit series at Comerica. There's a Looping line drive to left. It's caught by J.D. Martinez. 2 outs.
Fans, you can vote for Royals Player of the Month at rallyhouse.com/Royals, and you will be entered to win a majestic prize pack from Rally House. There's the Royals Player of last month.
He had a heck of a campaign. His 19 RBIs lead all major league second basemen. Ball 1. He tripled his first time up over the head of Torrey Hunter in right field. And then Hosmer followed him with a sacrifice fly. Way outside, 2-0.
Believe me, Tigers know all about Infante. They know he can hit a fastball, but you still got to throw him fastballs. Hoping he hits it at somebody.
Base hit left field. So Omar 2 for 2 against his old ball club. Fans, here's 3 things you need to know about Omar Infante. We told you about the RBIs, on pace for 110. And the Royals' second base record, Frank White, 84 in 1986.
If he can even come close to Frank's record, that'll be awesome.
Frank hit 4th in that 85 championship team so many times. Hosmer knocked in his 10th, last time up. Fouls that one back, strike 1.
Fans, and on this date in 1995, May 2nd, is when they retired this great player's number. He is a star. Frank White, congratulations.
Fly ball left. J.D. Martinez. That's the final out for the Royals in their 3rd. They get a hit, leave a man. We head to the 4th inning of play. And Joaquin Andujar, he remembers this.
Don't throw it to Frank. He's going to get it. Gone.
Both managers in the dugouts here know quite a thing or two about catching. Former big league catchers Ned Yost and Brad Ausmus. And talking to Brad today, said, you know, Brad being new as a manager, want to know what your thoughts are on Salvador Perez, because we haven't had a chance to talk to him about that yet. And he said, I want to maybe not take credit for finding Salvador Perez, he said, because I didn't. But I might have known about him earlier than some people in Kansas City. Now, he was a special assistant to the GM in San Diego after he retired from 2011 to 13. In 2011, he was in the dugout with Bud Black and just helping out in spring training. It was a night game in Peoria, Arizona, and it was Salvador Perez's first big league camp. He had been in A-ball the year before. And he turned over to Bud and he said, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing here? Because this kid behind the plate is really good." And so he said to me today, "I didn't find him, but I had a pretty good idea all the way back in 2011 that this kid was going to be special." And then I said to him, "Does he remind you of anybody from your generation?" Now, of course, his generation really spans quite a bit of time. He caught for a lot of years. He mentioned an interesting name to me that we hadn't heard before.
Aoki going back on it, and it will be off the wall. And a lot of extra base hits struck by the Tigers early in this one, Joel.
Yeah, they are hitting the ball well. The name that he mentioned, Hud, was he thought that Salvador maybe reminded him of a young Charles Johnson.
Wow. I can see that.
You know, we've always heard Sandy Alomar, which was the early part of Brad Ausmus's career, but in a little bit, more the middle years, a young Charles Johnson. What do you think?
He's a world champion. And he commanded a great game. He had some size, had good catch and throw skills. That's a good comparison. But that last ball that was just hit, I thought that was a homer. You could tell by the sound that he squared that up.
That is the fourth extra base hit by Detroit off James Shields tonight. Now Alex Avila. And he skies it to right. Aoki going back. And he climbs the wall, but that ball is gone.
James Shields is up in the strike zone. So after seeing all those pitches in Avila's last time up, and he ended up winning it with a walk, he says, first pitch, he's going to try to get me with a strike, and I'm going to get him. James might be a little bit overamped, might be trying to throw it too hard, because when that happens, if for a sinker baller, the ball straightens out. That could be what's going on here.
And you could see how he elevated that last pitch after Salvi gave him a low target.
Yeah, the balls that have been hit for extra base hits so far in this game have all been pitches down the middle.
4 doubles and now a home run, and Detroit leads by 3. And the Royals need Shields to go deep. Danny Duffy goes tomorrow, and Ned Yost told us before the game that Danny will throw between 75 and 80 pitches, so the bullpen already involved in this one and already will be involved in tomorrow's. Base hit left field, so 3 straight hits. 5 of the last 7 Tigers have reached successfully by way of base hits, and 4 of them extra base hits.
Okay, just a lot of balls left over the middle. That's what that's telling me. See Ned and Dave Island there saying the same thing. Just not able to keep his ball on the corners.
That time he did perfectly with a little breaking ball, and strike 1 to Ian Kinsler, who's 0 for 2. To third, Moustakas goes second, and it is skipping into right field. That will be the 23rd error by the Royals this year, and way too many for the strong defense.
Ball wasn't hit hard at all. This was going to be a tough play from the very beginning. Okay, and Moose was flat-footed and falling backwards, so going to be tough to get him. Now, Infante could have helped him by coming off the base and just keeping that ball in front of him, because he had no chance. Romine has good speed.
Right now, Shields has to do something to minimize the damage to keep the Royals in the game. He's still looking to get the first out of the fourth inning. He started this frame trailing by 1, now trails by 3, and there are runners in the corners with nobody out. Ball 1.
Okay, Kinsler, he has the ability to steal a base. He's a situational type stealer over there at first base. But with nobody out, meteor order coming up, I'd be surprised to see him take a chance on stealing here. Got a 3-run lead, still early in the game. Guys that have been doing the damage are coming up. Torrey Hunter hit a line drive in his first at bat to Dyson, almost hit a gapper. Then he singled in his second time up, and he's looking to drive in a run here. Hunter, a tremendous leader to his teammates, polices the clubhouse.
Well, he's determined to keep Kinsler close, but the Royals have thrown a few away this year. They have 9 errors by their pitchers, by far the most in the major leagues. Next closest is the Los Angeles Dodgers, and their pitching staff has thrown 6 errors. Low and in, 2-0. This is one of those games where James knows he has to battle. Just keep the club in the game somehow. Still early, just the 4th inning. Yesterday, Rex, James and I were talking about Chuck Finley, a pitcher both of us admire, who pitched for the Angels, where Chuck would go out there, and in the first or second inning, you say he's got nothing. He's giving up hits. He's giving up runs. And then all of a sudden, you'd look up, and he's still out there in the 7th inning, and the game's tied 4-4, 5-5.
You know, he's got to rely on your defense, or excuse me, your offense to help you, pick you up, get some runs. He's got to get out of this. Got a long way to go here.
Ground ball short. This should be 2, 1 and 2. A run scores to make it 5-1, but that is big 2 outs here early in the 4th inning.
Hey, there's a rare ground ball double play. Just the 14th of the year. That's what James Shields wants. Conserves the pitch count. Give him the run. Count on your offense to come back in this one. Hold him there.
Strike 1 now to Miguel Cabrera, who has struck out and doubled in a run and scored in the double by Victor Martinez.
So that Royals magic number with 4 runs won't work tonight. They're going to have to score more.
Cabrera to right. Norrie has it. But after getting 2 in the 3rd, Detroit comes back to score 3 in the 4th to take a 5-1 lead on Shields and KC. brought to you by Panera Bread, coming soon to College and King in Overland Park. By your Midwest Ford dealer. Visit us at yourmidwestforddealers.com. Beautiful evening in Kansas City. Detroit leads, though, 5-1 after the Royals took a 1-0 lead. The Tigers scored 2 in the third and 3 in the fourth, highlighted by Alex Avila's 2-run home run. Now Billy Butler will try and start things for KC in their half of the fourth against Rick Porcello. Ball one. Billy struck out swinging to end the first. Low.
Base runners. You might want to take another one here.
He does, and it's a 3-ball, no strike count. Porcello's last game, he won over Minnesota, but allowed 4 runs in only 5 innings through a lot of pitches. He's been much more efficient tonight. Finds the zone, 3-1. Down the left field line, it is hooking, and it is still a fair ball. A home run, and that's the first of the year for Billy Butler.
Houston, we have no more power outage. We got a Billy bomb. Hooked a pole, put a little barbecue sauce on that, Billy. Welcome to 2014. Atta baby.
And that's number 119 for Billy in his career, tied for 9th on the KC list with Steve Bye-Bye Balboni.
Bonesy.
Look at Danny Valencia right there, give him congratulations.
Worked the count. Got it in his favor. 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. Knew what was coming.
The Royals rallied from this deficit as late as the 7th inning on Tuesday. Gordon hit the ball sharply his first time up, but right at Cabrera, who took it unassisted. Let's go back to Billy Butler's first home run of the year.
Here, look at the hips turn. Hips turn a fraction before the hands come, and he hit that on the line. There it is. Little by little.
Number 12 for the team this year. They didn't get their first until the 8th game of the season, and it was by Alex Gordon right here at the K.
Was a line shot.
Well, that was something that Ned Yost was talking about. The positives they're seeing from Billy Butler in the last 2 weeks is he's beginning to drive the ball better every single night. He had a double in the last game and 2 hits, and now he rips his first home run. Alex chases one out of the zone, and that is strikeout number 4. Well, we asked the question, who will hit the most home runs in May? 47% agreed with you, only 10% agreed with me. That sounds like I'm at home with my wife.
Yeah, but just May 2nd, Fizz.
Indeed.
Got a long month to go.
Here is Salvador Perez. We're waiting for Haas to go deep. We know he will. He was so great the last 4 months of the season last year when he hit 16 of his 17 after June 1st. Perez has a 1-1 count. Grounded back to the mound when he reached for a Porcello off-speed pitch away from him last time up. And he sends that one to center field. It will stay up for Austin Jackson. That's a line out and 2 gone. Royals have 4 hits in the game, a single, a double, a triple, a home run. The double came from Mike Moustakas, who's now stepping in on the left side. Ball 1. Tigers won the Central last year, 93-69. Won by 7 games over Kansas City. Royals finished in 3rd behind Cleveland. But then Detroit lost to Boston in the American League Championship Series. And of course the Red Sox would go on to win it all over St. Louis.
See if Moose can duplicate that same swing in his last at bat where he doubled over the center fielder's head.
Got a good pitch to strike,
but he stayed inside it.
Tigers did make a move today, Rex. They signed Joel Hanrahan, who was a 2-time All-Star when he was healthy. He's coming back from surgery, and Brad Ausmus really feels like he's going to be a big addition to that bullpen. He could be a great setup guy for Joe Nathan, because they lost Bruce Rondon to start the season for the year with Tommy John surgery. In there, strike 3 called. 5 strikeouts for Porcello tonight. That's unusually high for him through 4 innings. But Billy Butler goes deep. Number 1 on the year.
Oh, break the ice, Billy. Stay hot.
For the Kansas City Royals in the 5th inning. Steve Physiok, Rex Hudler. We're now joined by Jeff Montgomery. And Jeff, you were a pitcher. You know what it's like to lose your mechanics. It seems like James just was determined to get the ball down, but couldn't.
Well, He's left a lot of balls where the batters have been able to get extended, and Rex, as you know, he let hitters get extended, especially big, powerful hitters like these Tiger hitters. They do some damage, and that's what we're seeing.
And we've seen it both pull power, opposite field power. 5 extra base hits, we told you, by the Tigers. They came in hot, winning 4 of their last 5 and 7 of their last 10. And they were as pleased as anybody to get to warm weather, because they, like Kansas City, when the Royals have been on the road, they've been to Minnesota, to Detroit, Baltimore, Cleveland, cold weather, and that's usually toughest on the offenses.
So James Shields understands, Monty, that his pitches are up in the zone. How does he correct that? How does he go about that?
Well, you want to try to get some situation where you're going to be able to pitch in, but you're seeing where he's away, allowing the hitters to get extended. Here we're going to see Martinez's first double where he gets a pitch away, and then he gets a pitch that's down and in, and he lets him get that bat extended down. We know the lefties, when they get that pitch down and in, they do damage. So you got to work both sides of the plate. You got to change speeds, and eventually he'll get things back on track. But early on here in this game, he's just been really fighting himself to do that.
Hard to pick out any kind of mechanical flaw on him. He before, when he had one other start earlier this year where he struggled, and Dave Island was talking about his hand position and bringing his hands all the way up over his shoulder. And
right, when his hands get above his shoulder, when his left leg flies out, as opposed to picking it up, it really flies out, and he gets kind of long. He doesn't stay on top of the rubber long enough, doesn't stay above his backside, and that's when things kind of go east and west, and you want things going at the catcher.
Martinez takes outside, and you go by the numbers, Monty. Detroit is not a patient team like the Toronto Blue Jays or the Minnesota Twins earlier this year. They are a free swinging club, and it seems like every borderline pitch they're fouling off.
Yeah, they're great hitters at that. They're able to just fight off, and then wait for that mistake, and then they do the damage.
And Martinez sends Gordon to the warning track where he pulls it down. 8 fly ball outs, and we told you 5 extra base hits given up by James.
And we're going to see there's that swing where that leg gets out, and then finally he gets that foot back to underside the body. But sometimes you get a little swingy when you do that, as opposed to picking up that left side. You swing it out, and that's what gets James into trouble.
Dyson takes care of Austin Jackson's line drive that kind of knuckled that Dyson.
Take a look here on this last pitch that James Shields. He gets squared up to the plate, and then he's actually on the side of the ball a little bit more than he would like to be, but he got the result. Now the ball was hit pretty good, so when you're on the side of the ball, you're not coming down through it. Again, you're kind of pushing the ball, and that's what causes the ball to flatten out.
You know, when he comes through with his arm swing, his head turns to the left. He's looking in the dugout.
Yep.
He's not even looking at home plate.
And that's where I was talking about having a tendency to go east and west instead of driving toward the plate.
All right, quick inning.
It is a quick inning, but they did strike the ball hard. 3 up, 3 down. Bottom 5 we go. Royals trail by 3. roster move before the game as expected. Bruce Chen placed on the 15-day disabled list because of back problems, and they recalled from the minor leagues Aaron Brooks. And this guy is a strike thrower, but they were hoping to save him for tomorrow night because Ned Yost told us before the game Danny Duffy, who will start, will be limited to 75 to 85 pitches.
Right, in Brooks' role, he's been a starting pitcher in Omaha, so he's going to be that length that they're going to go to in the bullpen if needed.
The good news is they don't think the Bruce Chen situation will be that long, that hopefully he'll be back in those 15 days. Here is Escobar. Struck out swinging his first time up. That ended the second and left Moustakas stranded at second. So tomorrow night, Drew Smyly will go for the Tigers. Danny Duffy for the Royals. Then on Sunday afternoon, another good one. Justin Verlander and Jason Vargas. Ground ball third. Don Kelly has it. And there is out number one. So Danny Duffy will get the start. And earlier tonight, Jeff Montgomery talked to Danny about what he's been working on.
With the way I have been throwing, even minus the last two appearances, I've really been working on trying to pound the zone and attack the hitter. My new breaking ball has really helped that out a lot. It's a lot sharper than my curveball was last year. And, I just got to continue to keep the ball down in the zone.
And he does, and he's got to be able to command the zone with confidence. And, Jeff, it seems like that has been the biggest challenge for Danny.
Well, I really liked the way he pitched in those early relief appearances. He was on the attack all the time, just trusting his stuff, challenging the hitters, attacking the strike zone. In my conversation with him earlier today, it seemed like he was much, much more relaxed than what I remember him being. That, he gets on the mound and gets that energy going, but he just sounds like he was ready to go for tomorrow.
Royals really need him. He has a dynamic arm, and that entire interview will be heard in the Boulevard post-game show after the contest with Joel and Jeff. Right now, another J, Gerard Dyson. In there with a strike. He may take another. Royals need base runners trailing by 3, particularly a speed guy that could get Porcello in the stretch and really worried about a fast guy at first. He does take another, and it's a strike.
Boy, that was a beauty. 90 mile an hour. He can get full break with that sinker.
Yeah, he gets on top so well, and he's one of those guys that just has a natural life to his pitch.
Dyson pops it up left center. Jackson there, 2 out. And fans, on May 18th, it's our annual tribute to the Negro Leagues, and this year we've added a new element called Dress to the Nines. Help honor the tradition of attending Negro Leagues games dressed in your Sunday best by donning some nice attire to the ballpark, and will complete your outfit as the first 10,000 fans will receive this Monarchs fedora. Special ticket prices start as low as $15 with a portion supporting the Negro League Baseball Museum. For more information, go to Royals.com/NLBM.
Monty, do you have a fedora you're going to sport that day?
I will be wearing one. Joel and I both last year borrowed fedoras from Bob Kendrick from the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, and he came on our set and joined us for our pregame show. We had a great time, and we've pledged this year to wear fedoras for the pregame.
Outstanding. We'll have to wear them as well. I mean, I love the movie 42. Took you back to yesteryear. And it's always amazing, Monty, when you see those old films, black and white films of the 30s and 40s, and everybody, the fans, wore a complete suit to the ball game with a hat.
And we had probably a couple dozen out in Rivals that day.
Did you
dressed
really?
To the nines.
Now we're hoping the whole K shows up like that. And, they came from church. So they just went out and went right to the ball game, day game.
Porcello trying to get the Royals in order in the 5th inning. Royals with 2 runs on 4 hits. Tigers with 5 on 9. The Tiger hits have been much louder than the Royals. 5 extra base hits, including a home run by Alex Avila. 2-2.
Amazing what a few degrees will do for the players. I noticed in pregame and batting practice today, everybody had that spring in their step. And now we're looking at the ballpark's going to start playing a lot shorter. A couple home runs here already tonight. I may need one from the Royals to get back in this thing.
Aoki pops it up. And quite frankly, that's not Porcello's game. He usually gets a lot of ground ball outs. Only got one in this inning and 2 flyouts.
TNT fan photo of the game.
Cassandra. And I understand we've got a bonus picture as well. Not only Cassandra, but style points.
Yeah.
And how about that crown?
And moose antlers. Thank you, Style Points. Keep them coming. Appreciate your participation.
Great crowd on hand tonight. We expect very good attendance for all 3 games of this series. Ground ball up the middle, and Fonte will take this. And Martinez is out. That's 6 in a row retired by James Shields since the Moustakas error. But prior to that, 5 of the previous 7 that James had faced got base hits, including 4 got extra base hits when he got that ball up in the strike zone.
And I believe that's only his 3rd ground ball out on the evening.
10 flyouts, 2 ground outs, and as we said, a lot of long doubles and home run.
Yeah, unlike it. And you know, it's been that way this year for the Royals pitching staff. I was talking with Dale Swain before the game, Monty, and saying, look, how's your shifting coming? He goes, it's not working at all because they're either striking guys out or they're throwing fly balls.
Yep. Go back to the home run Avila hit earlier in the game. You'll see James just kind of drifts right back out to the middle. He's got it belt high and somewhat of a room service accommodation.
No question. Easy swing. Got underneath it.
Avila's been on twice with a walk and a home run. And before this game, Ned Yost was talking with us about mechanics. The mechanics of a pitcher, because a lot of the members of the media were talking with Ned about Danny Duffy and thinking too much. But Ned was really getting back to mechanics, and he said Greg Maddux taught him so much about pitching. He said it was all about mechanics, and he told us a story about Vlad Guerrero used to wear Greg out. And I finally went to him and said, Greg, why do you throw to Vlad if he keeps on hitting you? And he goes, because I have to stay within my mechanics, and I can't throw a ball out of the strike zone. That would completely affect my mechanics. And I turned and looked at you, and you said, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Well, that's right. I know a lot of times pitchers are asked by the catcher to elevate, to throw the pitch like chest high or neck high, and I always would try that, but it always would drift down to like belt high, kind of like that pitch we saw Avila hit for the home run. So sometimes when you're in your mechanics, you don't want to do anything to intentionally get out of them.
Because most guys, pitchers, get offensive players out low and away.
Exactly. And mechanics is a matter of repeating those mechanics. You want to do it over and over and over. And I know as a pitcher, when you get locked in on your mechanics, it's almost like you put a blindfold on and almost hit a strike zone. But when you don't have it, it's like you're pitching with the blindfold on.
Line drive to Eric Hosmer. So James Shields getting back in the beam, keeping his team in the game. He's retired 8 in a row.
Seats anytime, anywhere with the StubHub app. With the StubHub app, you can pick up your Royals tickets and scan your barcode right at the gate using only your mobile phone. There's no need to print from a home. Get your StubHub app today.
Well, the 6th inning is, of course, our Sonic Slam inning, and our contestant is Judy Van Zandt from Platte City, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Judy will win $1,300. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Judy will not only win $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals, but the Royals would then have the lead. So it's a double bonus. And Infante is the batter. He's 2 for 2 off Porcello, a triple and a single. He scored a run. Ball 1. Rick has thrown 76 pitches, much better than his last outing when he threw 92 pitches in only 5 innings. But he's looking like the guy who beat the Angels back on April 20th, where he said, he even admitted he had total command of his fastball. Fonte takes a strike. It's 2-1. Rick has not walked a man, came into this game with only 4 walks in 25 innings. He'll make it 4 walks in 30 now. Slow roller to Romine. 1 out.
Got a great treat for any Royals fan who's willing to spend $300 on a Royals alumni batting practice. It's back at Kauffman Stadium Saturday, June the 14th. Anyone 25 years or older can join the Royals alumni on the field from 8 till noon for $300. You get a breakfast, t-shirt, shorts, and an autographed baseball by the pros who participate. Call 816-504-4150 and sign up today.
Bonnie, are you part of that?
I will likely be here, but I cannot participate. I'm nursing a sore hip.
That's right. Okay, but typically you are. That's a fun time, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. People have a blast.
Sign up, folks.
You got to stop running. That's why you got the sore hip.
Plus about 17 years of pitching.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Billy Butler joined the home run parade. Now Hosmer wants to, and he takes a strike at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Since giving up the home run, Porcello has retired 7 straight. Way inside, 2-2. Royals scored 1 in the first. Tigers came back with 2 in the third, 3 in the fourth. And KC got a home run by Butler in the bottom of the fourth. Now the count is full, 3-2.
Okay, right here is focus on your pitch. You can't get it all back in one swing. There's nobody on base. They need base runners. It's got to be yours.
To center field, Jackson in left center will pull it down for out number 2. Well, your Kansas City Honda dealers bring you the MTP of the game, the most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda. Billy Butler, 4th inning, first home run of the year.
Worked the count, got his pitch he wanted. Laser liner.
Strike 1. And that whole key to that at bat was he got ahead 3-0. And then Porcello threw a strike and tried to throw the same pitch, and Billy turned on it. Sends that one sharply to the third baseman, Don Kelly, and 3 up, 3 down in the 6th. Of their runs in the 3rd and 4th, and now we head to the 7th inning of play. James Shields still out on the hill, and tomorrow on Fox Sports 1 we'll have one more, and it will be Drew Smiley, a left-hander, going for the Tigers against the Royals lefty being brought out of the bullpen, Danny Duffy. And then on Sunday, back on Fox Sports Kansas City, Justin Verlander, Jason Vargas. Both pitchers have done extremely well this year, as the records show, and look at how even their ERAs are.
It's going to be great. The weather especially.
Supposed to be in the mid-70s tomorrow, the 80s on Sunday. And then we hit the road for San Diego and Seattle. And Shields hits Kinsler in the back. He had retired 8 straight. He tried to come in on Ian and came in too far.
Looked like that might have been a breaking ball that got away from him. Cut him right in the number.
So the former Missouri Tiger at first base. Shields to face Torrey Hunter, who is lined out, singled, and hit into a 6-4-3 double play. Shields would love that here. Kinsler, good base stealer. He's stolen 3 bags this year.
That's the 4th batter that Shields has plunked this year.
Yeah, he's not afraid of coming inside.
That last sinker is what he wants. See, Torrey Hunter pulled off a little bit, but if he hits that, it's a ground ball to Moose or Escobar. To stay down in the zone.
Well, I will say this, at 3:45 this afternoon, the Royals had pitchers fielding practice. Everybody was out there working on their pickoffs, working on the bunt drills and how to cover, because the Royals have committed 9 errors this year by their pitchers. We told you, by far the most in the major leagues.
He's hit Kinsler twice now.
Yeah.
He hit him in the back and then he got him in the wallet.
Vargas talking with Jeremy Guthrie. Jason, we told you, the Sunday afternoon starter. Several of the Detroit Tigers, obviously the Tigers got to town last night early, and Guthrie pitched last night. He took the loss. Salvador throws behind. They get the tag, but Kinsler barely gets back in time. But a lot of the Tigers were having fun with Jeremy because he caught a line drive on the pitcher's mound, as we see that pickoff by Salvador Perez. And Jeremy is just the nicest guy in the world, but he was so angry with the way he had pitched in that inning that he hurled the ball into the 3rd deck.
Yeah, he was like a pan that was boiling over. He had to release some of that energy.
We've all been there. The 2-1 pitch is swung on, base hit up the middle, and Hunter continues his hot hitting, batting over .400 the last 9 games. 2 on, nobody out. And Cabrera, the batter.
One thing's certain here. He won't be bunting.
He will not be moving the runners. But this is truly one of the great hitters in the game. Back-to-back MVPs. And last year was unbelievable with runners in scoring position. He hit .397 with 18 home runs with runners in scoring position. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Goes to right center field. Dyson off to the races, will run it down. Tagging is Kinsler. He'll go to 3rd. Back to 1st is Hunter.
Keep the double play in order. It's what you want. Kinsler's going to tag on that. Let him go. Nice job. Look at that ball. Somebody was going to catch that on the ground. Tremendous low ball hitter.
Dyson's had a workout in this game. That was his 6th putout, and he's made 2 fine running catches on Kinsler's drive to open the game, and you just saw him run a long way to flag down 1 from Miguel Cabrera.
How are you going to entice Victor Martinez to hit one on the ground?
Down and away. Hope he rolls over it. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't throw him the change-ups down and away. Sink the ball down and away. You got to get him to hit it to the right side on the ground.
Strike 1. James with 13 flyouts, 3 strikeouts, only 3 groundouts. So he's been elevating his pitches, but he has been battling. And there was a time we weren't sure if he'd make it 5, but this tells you how competitive he is. And Monty, this tells the entire team, particularly young pitchers, this is a professional when you don't have your best stuff, your best command, but you compete.
And this game is oftentimes fairly easy when you got your game going, but when you don't, that's when you find out what you're made of. It. I go back to that game in Philadelphia last year. I think it was James Shields' second start of the season. He gave up 4 or 5 runs in the first or second inning of the game, and he was still out there in the 7th.
There's a drive to right. Aoki will see it drop. That's a base hit. Coming in is Kinsler to score, and that will make it a 6-2 Tiger lead. Man, he is swinging a magic wand in this game. Just seems like he hits it wherever he wants to. 3 hits in the game, 2 doubles, and now this.
Okay, they tried to come inside, but he's just too quick. He's too good. He pulled his hands in. He's been hitting the ball to the opposite field tonight, and then they try to come inside on him, and look at him. I mean, he's just a too good all-around hitter. That ball had some topspin on it. No chance for Aoki.
He's a pro.
Austin Jackson 0 for 3, and Shields delivers inside ball 1. James trying to give his team 7 innings, but he's allowed 6 runs. And the Royals offense has scored only 2 off Rick Porcello. Foul. Hunter's center at second, and Martinez at first. And this is, Rex, a completely different Detroit team when you consider the fact that Detroit last year 93 wins, but Jim Leyland was the manager. They had more power, very little speed. Now they have taken away the power, with some of it with Fielder going to Texas, and added speed.
Yeah, it's a different look, but until they get their bullpen ironed out, Ausmus is going to have to mix and match and show his strategical skills late in games. And that's where it really comes into play in the American League. Managers are tested in the bullpen.
That is a seeing eye base hit to left field. They will hold Hunter at third. The bases are loaded. Royals do have their bullpen busy. And Ned Yost is going to come out and grab James. He just did not have it tonight. He competed as hard as he could. But Detroit has been hitting rockets and then getting some seeing eye base hits, and he wants the right-hander. Our Chevy call to the bullpen, right-hander Kelvin Herrera.
at Kauffman Stadium, including premium seats. Do you have a corporate outing coming up or clients coming to town? Ticketsforless.com can get your group within the first 10 rows behind the dugout or even all together in the front row of the crown seats. Check out Ticketsforless.com for all your Royals tickets, and a nice crowd on hand here tonight. Now you'll have to watch on TV Monday to see Yordano Ventura's next start. That'll be in San Diego, and guys had a chance earlier this afternoon to sit down with Yordano. And for the first time in his professional career, he sat down without interpreter, did the whole interview in English. We did about a good 10 minutes, and I've been through this before. I promise you, he was a lot more nervous sitting in front of that camera than he was getting on the mound. But he did a great job, and we'll run that before the game, 8:30, Hy-Vee Royals Live on Monday. Learned that he likes to cook a little bit in his off time, and he threw his first 100-mile-an-hour pitch when he was 19 years old.
Wow. Because when the Royals signed him, he threw in the low 80s. He was 140 pounds. We've heard that story from the international scouting supervisor, Rene Francisco. They said we just liked his arm action. They signed him for $28,000. He was 140 pounds, threw in the low 80s. He went from 82 to 92 to 102. And here it is Herrera, who does have high velocity, facing Don Kelly. And Kelly fouls it back. And Monty, since we have you here this inning with Herrera, what have you seen from Kelvin? Because he absolutely has the stuff.
Yeah, he's got great stuff, and when he mixes in that off-speed pitch, he has learned that fastball, regardless of how hard he throws it, middle up part of the zone, he's not going to get away with it consistently, and that's going to be the key for him. Just consistent strikes down in the strike zone and mixing in his pitches.
Let me ask you this. He's still a young man and just 24 years of age. How old were you, or how many years in the big leagues where you felt the confidence you had when you became a great closer with the Royals?
I came to the big leagues at age 25, so these guys are getting the big leagues much younger age now. But I was probably 28, which I think is about the prime for players when I finally hit stride.
Good pitch by Herrera, and he gets the strikeout of Don Kelly.
Yeah, that's what he's got to be able to do. He's got to be able to offset that great fastball with this pitch here, the breaking ball. That's what they've been wanting more out of him. And the more he throws it, the more confidence he's going to gain. This is May. It's still very early in the season. Why not experience it? Comes in with the bases loaded against the Tigers, and he broke it out. That's going to continue to gain. He's going to gain confidence with that.
And on that pitch, since it was moving down, even if you hit the top half of the ball, it's a double play ball, so he didn't have to always get a strikeout with it either.
That ball struck well. Aoki will not reach it, and that will score 2. Both will be charged to James Shields, but Herrera, after striking out Kelly for the second out, J.D. Martinez rips his second double of the night and makes it an 8-2 game.
The Detroit Tigers are not missing, and these are all balls that they should be striking well.
Yeah, that was a good fastball, but it was in the middle part of the plate. It wasn't up necessarily, but it was in the middle part of the plate.
That's right. And the success they had off Shields, same thing. His execution was in the middle, and they weren't missing it. So you have to credit the hitters for not missing pitches like that. They are putting it in play, but Royals pitchers are just not able to stay out of the middle.
And every single mistake has been absolutely crushed by Detroit. 6 extra base hits in this game. 5 doubles, 1 home run. Tigers did come in hot, winning 4 of their previous 5. But they're getting it from all parts of their lineup. We told you the bottom of the order combined was hitting right around 210. But 2 hits by Martinez, a walk, a home run by Avila. Romine has a hit.
The first pitch that we saw, the first strike we saw from Herrera there was a changeup, really nice changeup, upper 80s changeup, and he comes back with an upper 90s fastball. Now if he has that third pitch, that that breaking ball that he consistently can throw for strikes. That gives him he completes him as a pitcher. So he's now got 3 pitches he can go to. He loves that changeup. He really likes that hard changeup.
There was the breaking ball. He did not go. That was a tough pitch to take. Pulls it to the right side. Infante will take care of Avila. The inning is over, but another huge inning for the Tigers as they score 3 times and take a 6-run lead. Full servicing steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. And by Academy Sports, right stuff, low price, every day. Steve Physiak, Rex Hudler, Joe Goldberg, Jeff Montgomery with you at Kauffman Stadium. Great crowd, but they are not having a good time with the Tigers leading 8-2. And Rick Porcello has allowed the Royals just 4 hits, 2 runs.
He's been good. He's hitting his spots and mixing his pitches very well. He's been throwing some pitches elevated above the belt for effect. A 4-seamer, and his 2-seamer's been staying down and away from the hitters. He's got a nice slider he's moving in there.
Alex Gordon will lead things off, and that's a first pitch strike. Porcello's thrown 88 pitches. 58 have made that strike zone. 30 have missed. You know what's interesting, Rex, is that Jeff was telling me that most pitchers would prefer to be 60% strikes than 70% strikes. Says the offensive guys are just seeing too many hittable pitches then.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of truth to that. You can get yourself in trouble if you're a pitcher by throwing too many strikes. However, your team supplies you with 8 runs this time of the game at 90 pitches. You can throw anything you want. Keep it down, use the defense. He's welcoming this non-stress situation here this late in the game.
Alex sends it left center field. Jackson runs it down right in front of the sprint sign. Well, Austin, one of the great fly chasers in the game for Rick Porcello. That's 10 in a row. He has retired since allowing the home run to Billy Butler. Talented young pitcher, and they want him part of the rotation for a long time. Fouled off. Joe Goldberg was telling fans in the Hy-Vee pregame show that Porcello joined Clayton Kershaw, CC Sabathia, and Felix Hernandez, pretty good names, as the only 4 active pitchers to post 60 wins before their 25th birthday. Almost the same pitch and same result. Sinking fastball, fouls it off the front foot.
Yep. Padding wasn't there on that one. Just missed the pad. Right above it. So Avila taking care of Salvi by going out and talking to the pitcher, giving him a little bit of time to get some feel back in that foot, that shin.
Salvador 0 for 2 with a ground out to the pitcher, and he also lined out to center. Out of play. You know, even after that foul ball, Salvador looked like he was still in a little pain after fouling that ball off of his front shin.
That'll hurt for a week. You know what that feels like? If you really want to know what that feels like,
go to your garage,
go to the toolbox, get a hammer out, and whack yourself in the leg.
I think I will not do that tomorrow, Rex. But I do need to trim some weeds. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and fans, MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Royals.com for details. They'll also have video of Rex hitting his foot with a hammer.
I didn't have to, because I knew what that felt like out there.
You fouled a lot of balls off your foot.
Yeah, but I never wore a pad like that because it affected my speed. I was a runner, so I didn't want to have anything on my leg. So I just took it, and like I said, you feel them for a week after.
So you didn't wear construction shoes?
No. He almost got it again.
Well, he has such good late movement on his pitches.
I might think about letting him take the rest of the evening off. If I'm Ned.
Yeah, with Brett Hayes needing the work. Royals trailing by 6 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Hunter pulls it down, and there are 2 out now in the 7th inning. Well, Rick Porcello comes from a baseball family. His grandfather, Sam Dente, played for the Cleveland Indians on that 1954 World Series team that the Tribe lost to the New York Giants, and that was a great Cleveland team. His mom and dad were Yankees fans, but not anymore. They like the Tigers. Moose is up. 1 for 2. Fouled back. Well, he's right at 100 pitches, so we're guessing this will be his final inning with a 6-run lead. Play him to pull both on the infield and in the outfield. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Royals actually had a 1-0 lead going to the 3rd inning, but the Tigers scored 2 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th. Billy Butler hit a home run in the 4th, but Tigers got 3 in the 7th.
That's a season high in pitches thrown by Porcello.
Mike fights it off left side. He's having another good duel. He's had several this year. He had that 13 pitch at bat in Cleveland on the road last week, and he had 2 home runs in that series. In there, strike 3 called. Moustakas does not like the call, fires the bat away in the helmet. The Royals head to the 8th, trailing by 6.
The American League, Cleveland all over the White Sox. Seattle one better than Houston. Kyle Seager leading the way. Baltimore on top of Minnesota. Nice job by Ubaldo Jimenez. Arizona and San Diego just underway. Royals head to Petco Park on Monday. Our Mazda game break. It was a rough game for Chicago, but never too rough a game for the rookie sensation out of Cuba, Jose Abreu. And his home run, number 11 on the year, but all Indians as they rock John Danks. The bad news for Cleveland, and I'm sure you guys saw this, is that their all-star second baseman Jason Kipnis going on the disabled list today with an oblique injury, 3 to 5 weeks.
Wow, I didn't know it was going to be that serious, but that oblique, that is a dangerous muscle, and we see so many pitchers go down with it, and also so many guys with vicious swings. Royals try to overtake both Cleveland and Detroit this year to win the Central. Tigers came in with a 2-game lead over KC. Royals 1 over 500 currently. And Herrera blows away Andrew Romine. Now the Royals bullpen, Rex, has good numbers. I mean, they're 3rd in the American League, 5th, excuse me, with an ERA of 3.69. But one thing that's been troubling, they have inherited 32 runners this year, and 19 have scored. Brett Hayes is the new catcher taking over for Salvador Perez, who fouled the ball off his shin. And as Rex said in that last inning, not a bad time to give Salvi a little rest.
Yeah, you know, I think that the numbers from the bullpen are going to get better. they just had a rough start. They've had a hard time finding their timing and getting their location right. You would hope that will improve.
Ian Kroll warming up for the Tigers. Ground ball up the middle, and that is the 14th hit for the Tigers. Kinsler on base for the third straight time. First two times up, he flied out and popped up, then reached on a Moustakas error, was hit by a Shields pitch, and later scored. And now here in the 8th inning, he sends a single up the middle past Escobar. Hunter 2 for 4. Up that average to 310. This guy is like a fine wine. He gets better with age. Great year last year, hitting 304, and his glory days with Minnesota and then later the Angels, he was usually in the 280s with pretty good power and great defense.
Talking about all of his on the field accolades is wonderful, but what he does now off the field is amazing. You know, he's got 3 boys and they're all in college, and you know, he encourages his sons to you know, hang out with other people and, you know, buy their dinner if there's some needy guys around you. They don't have a lot of money, a lot of funds, college kids, you know, go ahead and share the wealth. And he's not afraid of that. I mean, he's been blessed as a player during his day. And he said, though, it's kind of shocking to get his credit card bill every month, and he's got 3 kids in college. He's like, whoa, fellas.
Well, one of them's got a full ride to Notre Dame, a wide receiver there.
That helps.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're trying to make some improvements.
He drives it to right. Aoki back and reaches up and pulls it down. That's out number 2.
Yeah, you know, the NCAA, they're trying to make it a little bit easier for some of these college kids to eat anyway.
Well, I've experienced that personally with Torrey Hunter. I told him about a program my wife and I were part of, Kid Singers in Southern California, singing program, after school program. And Torrey asked me about it, and he said, Steve, show me the flyer when we get back home, which I did. And then he reaches into his pocket, pulls out his checkbook, and he goes, would $1,000 be okay? And I said, no, I just wanted you to autograph these scorecards, which I would then auction off. And he goes, Fizz, I think God gave me this great contract to give back to society, and I want to give to you. I know you've got a great program. I thought, well, he's one of my favorite people of all time.
I thought you were going to tell him, no, I'd like $10,000. Not more.
No, but he is a class act. And that ball is driven. And Dyson racing back, warning track with barely enough room, and pulls it down. And Cabrera is out number 3 for Herrera. But some loud outs off Kelvin in the 8th. As promised earlier, it's Miller time by Miller Lite. This was Danny Duffy's second start after surgery last year, and he was brilliant. August 16, 2013, and he said he really backed off his velocity, but his ball moved tremendously well and confounded the Tigers, and he outpitched Justin Verlander.
Yeah, they'd love to see that tomorrow. They need a lift from him.
And if you want to see it, it will be on Fox Sports 1. 6 Central, Tigers and Royals, game 2 of this 3-game series. It's been all Detroit in game 1. Bottom of the 8th, Escobar, Dyson, Aoki, with a new pitcher coming out of that bullpen. And this is Ian Kroll.
Hey, he's a left-hander. 6'1", 190. Ooh, jam shot.
Kelly, 1 out.
This guy's got some pretty good stuff. He's going to go mid-90s with that fastball. 2-seamer, 4-seamer, power curve. He's got a changeup, too. He'll work on righties, and that's his second best pitch. This guy's good.
He came up with the A's and then traded to Washington. And then when Washington wanted starting pitcher Doug Fister, Kroll was part of that deal and made his first opening day roster. Bunt right back to the mound. Dyson makes it awfully close.
And I'll tell you, that ball was bunted directly back to the pitcher, and he almost beat that out. I'll tell you what, he just has to go to the right or to the left, and that's going to be an easy bunt. Okay. Kroll wasn't sure, knew who was running, but Dyson has some kind of weapon with those legs. Nice try.
Two outs. Kroll versus Aoki. He pulls it to the right side. Kinsler gets there. Quick 1-2-3 8th inning for the Tigers. They take an 8-2 lead to the 9th. And they hit James Shields hard, and Kelvin Herrera took over for an inning and 2/3, and now Michael Marriott, the rookie who went to the University of Nebraska, comes on to close it out in the 9th.
Okay, Marriott got a chance last night, kind of got away from him, his control. He had his first inning, was able to hold the Blue Jays down, only threw 8 pitches. Ned let him come back out, and he lost command. They lost that game. So he's going to get another chance here. See if he can get his fastball and his other pitches down in the zone and throw him strikes.
Well, he only has to face Victor Martinez, who's been on everything in this game. He doubled to left in the second. He doubled to right in the third. He hit a long fly ball driving Alex Gordon to the wall in the fifth, and then he singled in a run and scored in the seventh. With this team, 8 runs, 14 hits. The Royals with 2 runs on only 4 hits. Married, 6-foot right-hander. Born in West Hills, California, but moved to South Lake, Texas as a sophomore and went to a very good baseball high school, Carroll High School. And then the University of Nebraska saw him and signed him. Strike one. Martinez has raised his average with the 3 hits to .318. Outside and high. And the Royals expected the top of the order, who had come in extremely hot. Kinsler with a 5-game hit streak, Hunter with an 8-game streak, Cabrera with a 7 streak, and Martinez hot. But they did not expect the bottom of the order. The bottom of the order has been very productive as well. Martinez 2 doubles, Avila a home run, Romine a hit and a run. Two and two.
Don't think the Tigers have Stephen Drew out of their mind.
Really?
He's still out there.
I know. I cannot believe he's still out there.
Solid shortstop.
The only question I have about that, Rex, is that Stephen Drew is looking for a long-term deal, not just a 1-year deal.
Well,
and the same agent that Drew has also represents Julio Iglesias, who's their shortstop, who'll be coming back next year, Scott Boras.
Yeah, you never know. Just worth the talk.
It sure is. And I'm sure Dave Dombrowski has had discussions. And Joel wants in on this. Joel, what you say?
Well, I agree with Rex on this one. I think maybe the date to look at would be the draft in June, because after the draft in June, that flies by Marriott, a nice easy play for Infante. But after the draft in June, there's going to be no compensation tied to him. And so, you know, you have to wonder, and you're right, Fizz, it's a good point. It's the same agent as Iglesias, but does it make sense for Stephen Drew just to sit this whole year, or maybe play half of a year and then go out on the free agent market next year with the ability to go anywhere he wants and without a draft pick hanging over him and all that? So I just wonder if maybe after the draft there's some possibilities there.
I think it's very interesting that he hasn't signed. I mean, a very talented shortstop, and sometimes you wonder, Rex, how bad a guy wants to play.
Boston has the threat of not getting a #1 pick. They're not real happy about that either.
Moustakas. Excellent play.
Hey, that's good to see. Moose hasn't had a lot of those this year because for some reason the Royals pitchers are either striking him out, they're hitting fly balls. So nice to see Moose get dirty and practice up on that bread and butter play in the hole there. He makes that as good as anyone. I love how he's leaning forward, helps him with his throw. Right on the money. Nice play, Moose.
Now Don Kelly, who's 1 for 4. Marriott's been able to get the first 2 out. Rex told you about Michael's last outing. I mean, he looked marvelous tossing a 1-2-3 7th last night against the Jays, then ran into trouble in the 8th, allowing 2 singles in between a pair of walks. Gave up 3 runs in that second inning of work. Two and 1. We told you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. The weather is expected to be fantastic. We hope to see you here. Smiley for the Tigers, Danny Duffy for the Royals. There's a pitch high. And you'd love to see Danny really pitch well.
Yeah, for his confidence, and his team needs him. Step up.
Shallow fly ball. Escobar makes a tremendous catch in left center.
It's amazing. You didn't know if he was going to basket catch that or if he was going to catch it on the dead run up. Oh, cradles it in nicely.
Next, Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery will break this game down and also take a look at tomorrow's outing between Smiley and Duffy. And Jeff Montgomery will have that entire interview with Danny in Boulevard Royals Live. Well, the new pitcher will be Evan Reed, and he opened the 2013 season in the Marlins organization before being acquired off waivers by the Tigers on April 3rd. He pitched in 16 games last year with Detroit, compiling an 0-1 record. He's 6'4" right-hander out of Santa Maria, California.
Fastball, hard slider. Got a split finger he'll use. Big, strong guy, 6'4", 225.
Infante, Hosmer, Butler. Anybody gets on, Alex Gordon and Brett Hayes. Ball one. Reed did not allow a run in his first 6 outings to begin the season. Has a 3.86 ERA. Fonte, good game. Triple, single, run scored. Listen, high in the air, but too much lift. J.D. Martinez will run it down for the first out. Royals do not have a hit since Butler's home run.
Yeah, Tiger pitching has totally shut that offense down tonight.
16 in a row, Rex, since Billy went deep.
It's got to change.
Royals still very quiet offensively this year. 11th in runs scored, last in home runs, 11th in extra base hits. Now Hosmer, who is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly, and that drove in the first run and gave the Royals a short-lived 1-0 lead. But Hunter singled in the third off Shields. Cabrera doubled. Martinez then doubled. Pulls that one to the right side, and covering his Reed, and very quickly 2 outs in the 9th. Billy hit his first home run of the year. Shot down the left field line that barely stayed in fair territory. Strike one. Hit sharply, but right to Romine. And this game is over. Final score 8-2. Tigers beat Kansas City. Rick Porcello over James Shields. And the Tigers win their 15th game of the year, their third in a row, and they've won 5 of their last 6. And they win game 1 of this important 3-game series. We'll come back and talk about it after this.